back. So you guys, I've been doing some long arm quilting with Betty over here. And when I first started, I was using pins, which it works, but I stab myself all the time. So I was constantly poking myself and I just really didn't like how long it took me. And then somebody recommended that I get these SewTites magnets. And oh my gosh, they're a total game changer. So I decided I need to put them into my leaders. So these are the leaders that are on the take-up bar and the belly bar. So we've got them here, and that's what you put your backer on the top and on the bottom. So I'm gonna make a little channel in my leader so that I can easily insert the back side of the magnet so it's in there all the time, and then I only have to use the front side. Whoa, I've got a bunch here. The front side when I am attaching my quilt back. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. The first thing you want to do is figure out how big does your channel need to be. And so you want to make sure there's enough room for the magnet to sit inside there comfortably. And you want to have a little bit of room in case, you know, you need to move things around and whatnot. So we are going to take this over to the ironing board, and I'm just going to press this down, and I'm going to measure every so often just to make sure that I'm keeping it straight and nice and even. All right, I have my channel all pressed, so it's laying nicely. And now what we're gonna do, this is the middle. So I wanna start in the very center. I wanna make little 6-inch pockets. So this is the center of my leader. So I'm gonna make a line every 6 inches. That will give you enough room to slide the magnet in, and it has a little bit of room to move around if you need it to. So now I'm just going to continue marking down every 6 inches or so. And you can either just make a little mark, or you can draw a straight line so you have a nice straight line to follow when you are sewing your little pockets. Now I have, let's see, I have 2 packs of 20. I don't know that I need 20 in each one. So I think I'm going to do 15 on the top and then 15 on the bottom. And then I know I have extra magnets if I'm going to be doing a larger quilt at any point. My leaders are large enough that I could do up to a king size quilt. I don't think I'll do a lot of king size quilts. I know I will do at least one. All right, I have marked all of my spots. I'm going to go over to the sewing machine, and we are going to sew along each line. Then we'll put the magnets in, and then we'll sew it closed along the top. I'm just using my regular straight stitch machine, and we are just going to sew along each of these lines to create little dividers. That way your magnets don't move around once you put them inside. You don't want them to be able to slide around. They are very strong magnets, and so I recommend if you're going to put them into your leaders, as I am here, you know, make pockets this way. That way they can't go any further, because I would hate to see you grab, you know, put your magnet on top and have it grab too. It could make a big mess if you don't do these little divider pockets. And I am back stitching at the beginning and the end of each one, just so nothing comes unraveled or unsewn. Was the last one on this side. So now we're going to insert the magnets into our little pockets, and then we're going to sew the tops of the pockets closed. So I'm going to start by just sewing this closed at the top, and I'm sewing right along this top edge, and I'm going to stop right before I get to my first pocket. Okay, here's our first little pocket. So what you want to do is you just want to insert the magnet. It's got a little bit of room to move around, but it won't be able to go beyond your little borders. Now, just make sure with your hands that you can feel that that bar is down below these dots, just so that you don't sew over it. You want to make sure it's tucked down neatly inside and there's no chance of hitting it. You're definitely going to feel if your foot goes over it. And if this makes you nervous, just go slow. But the magnet or the bar is not going to move in there once you push it down. So I'm just going to go along this way and inserting each one as I close it at the top. And you can even partially sew it because you do have 2 extra inches for each one. All right, that is our last mark. So we're just gonna sew this closed the rest of the way. And because these ends are open, I could always slide more in there if I ever decide I wanted to add more. It'd be really easy to do that. Now that all the bars are sewn into the leader, I'm putting my leader back onto my rails, and they are just simply attached with Velcro. And then I'm gonna roll them back up and they're gonna be ready to use. I'm going to start with the quilt back first, and I always start in the middle and then I work my way out both right and left. So I marked the center, and I have my center marked on my leader already. I used a permanent marking pen, so I always know where the center of my leader is. And now it's so easy to just start with the magnets because the metal bars are already inside my leaders. So what I like to do, because the bars are magnetic also, I just lay out all of my magnets, and then it's so easy to just go along with the backing and attach. You guys, this is so much better than pinning or any other method that I have tried. And then you just simply roll it up, and then you do the same process on the bottom if you are using the magnets on the bottom. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It all depends on what I'm working on. But like I said, this way is so much faster, so much easier, and I don't stab myself and, end up making a mess on my quilt back. Once I make sure everything is lined up nice and neat, I roll it up slowly to make sure everything is rolling up evenly. And then it rolls up so nice. And then you can go ahead and lay out your batting and your quilt top, and you are ready to do your quilting. You guys, these SewTite magnets, they really are one of the best investments I've made for my long arm. The process is so much faster and easier. And I'll tell you, once I've spent all the time pinning and then I realize I have to readjust my quilt top, the last thing I want to do is unpin and repin. But with these magnets, it is so much faster to take them off, to put them back on again. They really are so user-friendly and make such a difference in the time that it takes me to get my quilts ready to put on my long arm. And they're so useful for so many other projects, you guys. So I got the variety pack and I absolutely love it.